This is a video I've kind of been putting off, for myself, in general. I haven't really just been motivated with YouTube lately, but I just feel like I need to speak my mind on this, especially for all the people that I've talked to about this game. So, Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown released about 2 weeks ago. I pre-ordered the Gold Edition because, me personally, I have been wanting to have an open world simcade forever to play on. Being a PlayStation 5 player, there's really no options at all. Basically, all there is the Crew Motorfest, and that's still pretty arcadey. This is still a lot more realistic and such, but that's not the main point of this video. I'm not here to talk about the game and what it has to offer. Now, to preface, I did not play any test drive games before this one. This is my first test drive game. So, I understand there's a lot of people that are pretty disappointed with this test drive game compared to older test drive games. It just doesn't feel the same, and that's not my place to talk. This is just I'm talking off the top of my head. I don't really have notes or script or anything. The main thing for me is all of the issues that this game has, and how it just feels like it was launched too early. It really needed more time in the oven, right? So, as a Gold Edition owner, we got the game 7 days early, earlier than everybody else that pre-ordered, and we also got to play console betas. So, within these console betas, they were god-awful. I won't lie, there was limited progression. You could only travel in certain parts of the map. Car selection was extremely limited. Races had issues. There were rendering issues. I'll show some clips. I have stuff recorded. There's some rendering issues, which, by the way, I'll go here just to show. I'm not sure if you can see that up there in the sky, but it still has rendering issues. This game has performance issues out the ass when it comes to this graphic mode. It plays at 20 frames a second. That's kind of unacceptable. It needs to be at least 30 frames a second. But performance mode runs okay unless you hit a palm tree for some reason. Oh, they fixed that. Okay. Well, yeah, the game runs better now. After the server maintenance, which also took 8 hours from earlier this week. It was a couple days ago. So, and then we had server maintenance during the launch week for the pre-orders for the early players, and that was about 12 hours too. So it's just been non-stop, constant issues ever since the game's launched. I've had problems with progression in general. You can see I've driven all these places and stuff, but for some reason this doesn't track that I've been here, that I've unlocked that area. Here it does it, down here it does it. For some reason, if I go down certain random roads, it'll just forget a small snippet of the road like that. Why? But I've been down that road in particular. It's just weird how it forgets roads just randomly. Just a litany of other issues, not even be able to complete races. And I had a bug first week. I'm not sure if I recorded it, but where I went to go buy a car and it said the purchase failed, so I went to go buy it again, and then the game crashed. And I went in the game and I had 2 cars. So I ended up buying 2 cars, even though the game said I didn't buy a car, which was also an issue from the beta that they didn't fix. So you know, that's cool. All the gauges is another thing. All the gauges are supposed to work. I was streaming for some friends, showing them this game to see if they wanted to buy the game. And boost gauges for like turbos don't work at all. Still don't work. Yeah, they're not moving at all. So there's something wrong. So, you know, little things like that, and they kind of add up. Also, if you notice, when I changed to first person, I'm not sure if you noticed that when I went out of the gas station, my frames dropped. When I went into cockpit view. As somebody that pre-ordered 2042 and had to deal with all of that game shit, it really just is maddening, I guess is the word, that just all of these developers just don't take the time to release their games in a steady state and not give off a good first impression, because first impressions, I'm learning, not for me in particular, but for most of people that play video games nowadays, means a lot. Like, Cyberpunk 2077 is a beautiful game now. That game is awesome. Really a beautiful open world RPG. But there's a lot of people that won't even give the game a chance because of its launch. How do you think people are gonna feel about this game being developed by a studio that never developed an open world racer like this? For a franchise that they've never touched before, right? Launching in an abysmal state. It's a horrible first impression. It's going to hurt the game's longevity, for sure. You know, right now the competition is like going to absolutely smash this game, because year 2 of the Crew Motorfest is coming out. They're having a new map expansion and stuff. They have a big sell. Players are gonna move from this game to that game, because this game is just unimpressive to a lot of people. Because a lot of people played older Test Drive, and most people that have opinions on this game played older Test Drive, and they have that expectation set. One of the biggest arguments I've heard is there's no like old player homes. How there was in TDU 2, I think it was, where you could actually have your own house somewhere on the map and go to it and have cars in it and stuff. Which, I mean, not gonna lie, as somebody new to the franchise, that sounds kind of disappointing that it's not in the game, personally. But, you know, thinking of games that have had ruined images and kind of rebuilt that, you know, Helldivers 2 is one of the greatest examples of how a game went from absolutely alienating its own community to rebuilding faith in its own player base. Especially lately with their Buff Divers update, you know? There's still potential here, right? But its first impression definitely hurt its longevity, whether you like it or not. Being somebody that used to main Battlefield, I know how important first impressions are. And with the last 2 games, they both have really bad first impressions. And Battlefield 5 being a good game nowadays didn't save it from what it was at launch. What happened at launch, what happened before launch in its marketing. A lot of people don't want to play that game just because of what the things that EA said. The things that happened at launch. The controversial changes to, like, Battlefield. 2042 was one of the worst things that ever happened to Battlefield as a franchise. They tried something new, and the community didn't have it, including myself. I tried to like it for a long time, but it has a litany of issues. I'm not gonna get into that. They tried fixing the game, they tried doing better, but it wasn't enough to save the game. The game is dead. People don't like playing the game. People only play the game because they have to, most of the time now. Some people do genuinely like it, and good for you, but it's not Battlefield. It's not what the core community of players wanted. And that's kind of the same issue that's kind of arising here with Test Drive Unlimited. It's not what the core fan base wanted for the game. And this first impression of this new, I guess you could say, soft reboot. Look at the render in there. It's like breaking it. This game just doesn't hit it off for a lot of the core fan base. Which, there's more room to grow here than there is with Battlefield, for sure. But it's still not a good look. I'm just hoping that KT Racing, a very good studio, really turns this game around and gets it back on the right track. Because the base of this game, the foundation, there is a great game sitting at this foundation. But they gotta rebuild now, and they got to rebuild trust and get to a point where players actually want to give their time, money, and effort into the game again. Because right now, gamers are really impatient with small things. They really are. I mean, just, like, looking at Helldivers. People completely lost faith in an Arrowhead. And people were dropping from playing the game like crazy. But now they're taking things back. Because they made the right choices. And that's what Test Drive needs to do. They need to start fixing things. They need to figure out good compensation for people that paid for the early access and stuff. Because I was quite disappointed myself, and I didn't want to make a video on it because I didn't want to be so damn negative. Because I've made a lot of really negative videos on games and stuff lately, and I just want to see that this industry flourish. I really do. I want to see these cool games actually be able to deliver upon what they promise. People won't stay for long in this kind of environment, this kind of industry anymore. People don't have patience like they used to for this bullshit. Look at Concord. Concord didn't even get a chance. Your game has a chance. And you need to take that chance while you have it. Anyways, that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. If you didn't, I really don't give a shit. Whatever. And I'll see y'all later.